One's American and one is an Aussie. Talking about StarCraft 2 and the esports scene.
Hello, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, kind sir. It is good to be here for another podcast day.
As it is always, yeah.
Always and always, yes.
True.
I've got a fly buzzing around my office today, which means that spring is officially here.
Yeah.
There
Is
hasn't
that-
been a fly in here since like last September, so I feel like that's legit.
Okay. Well, fair enough. Yeah, I haven't seen any flies in here yet, but we are like approaching winter instead of coming away from it, so it's unlikely that they're going to be around.
Do your bugs go away in the winter? They're just fewer of them.
They go away, I guess. Like,
Oh, nice. Okay. They don't really tell you that in Australia the bugs are huge and terrifying, but in the winter they go away. I think that's a pretty good selling point.
I mean, either that or I've just not noticed them. Like, I don't know. They could still be there, and I've just been like obsessed with whatever it is I'm doing. Not noticed.
It's not like you spend a ton of time outside either. So.
No, or looking for bugs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're pretty much in your house, and then you ride your bike to work, which is also inside. So I guess you could, I don't know, noticing bugs is probably the best bet when you're on your bike going to work.
Well, yeah. During the summer, I definitely have more of them hitting into my helmet than winter.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I have to clean my helmet more often to get all the dead bugs off it.
Dunk, dunk, dunk.
Yeah, it's accurate.
Gross. Motorcycle riding comes with some negatives, but also some positives.
Yep.
Anyway, excellent. Very good stuff. What else is going on? My middle kid. So just quick kid story. My middle kid went on a field trip to the planetarium today.
Okay. Yeah.
And he left his water bottle on the bus
Oh no.
that took them there. And I guess planetarium didn't have drinking fountains. I don't know, man.
Okay. Interesting.
Because I picked him up and he was like, I am dying. I am so thirsty. I'm going to die. And I'm like, what? I sent you with a water bottle. What happened? And he's like,
So interesting that the bus like took them. It was a public bus or like a bus the school had rented for the excursion.
That one. Rented. Yeah.
So
it
hold on,
was a different one that came and picked him up, is the thing.
Yeah, but they didn't like, oh, we found a bottle. Who does this belong to? None of that?
Apparently not.
Okay.
I don't know if we're ever going to see it again, actually, which kind of sucks.
It
was a nice metal water bottle. It was tough. He had some like stickers on it of like Zelda things. It was neat. He was into it.
Okay.
Gone now.
Gone.
Probably never coming back.
Lost
I don't know.
for-
Maybe they did. Maybe they swept it and like they brought back the lost and found stuff to the school, but
maybe
we'll see
maybe
tomorrow.
not. Yeah. I mean, I'm very interested that there was no water at the planetarium either.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. I've only heard of planetariums in like two contexts. One on TV, so I immediately dismiss any information I know about it.
Right.
And one was from another podcast where an American came to New Zealand and Australia, and they went to a planetarium there. And they said instead of what it is like on TV is like a dude in a room giving a lecture. Is that not how they work there? Or are they like the in TV, it's a big dark dome and like you have a voiceover. Okay, so it's just like a big room and then you leave the room and then you're done. There's no one else there.
No, so that's the main like presentation area, right?
Sure.
You go into the big dome dark room and they show you the planets and like, or a lot of the time it's like geology stuff, like the Earth used to be all oceans and then this happened. And he said there was a 3D one they watched too. They had like 3D glasses for it, so that was kind of cool.
Trip back in time.
Yeah. But then also in the planetarium, there's other just normal kind of like museum exhibits.
Okay.
Where they'll have like, you know, the solar system modeled out and to scale. So like Jupiter's huge and then next to it, Neptune, all that stuff, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And then like you can watch some videos of the moon landing. And so they've got other stuff around it, but just that's the big main presentation. That's the big deal, right?
And so there was no drinking fountains. There wasn't like a bathroom and you could go and use a tap.
I didn't get this deep into it. He's a pretty smart kid.
I don't think so. Like,
but it's very possible that he just like water bottle gone, water not an option anymore.
Okay. Maybe he's worried about lead pipes. He's like, I don't want to trust the drinking water. It could have lead in it.
This is an old building. I'm gonna get cancer from drinking this water.
Could, yeah.
Yeah. Anywho, that's my kid story of the day.
Fair enough. I have no kid stories because I have no kids.
You have a cat story?
I don't have any cats.
Right. Don't you have random cats that aren't yours that exist?
Yeah, but then I moved.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't get to keep the cats.
Bummer.
Because they were random cats that just like lived in the neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Hang out in your backyard sometimes.
Yeah. Glad you understand how this works.
I do. All right. Good. Well, do we want to talk about Moon Knight? Because it's been a whole week since I watched it, and I'm not sure if I can remember much more of it. It just goes on.
Sure. Yeah. I watched it like a couple hours ago, so it's pretty fresh.
Okay, good. So if I have any questions about what happened, you can answer them.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can try.
Okay, so just to sum this episode up real quick. So Layla and Moon Knight, Steven/Mark, they're able to find where the tomb of Amun is. Yeah. And there's all this sign of conflict outside and like blood and stuff. And there's nobody alive outside of the tomb. And at first I was like, oh, they sent everyone inside and nobody's outside standing guard. And then I was like, oh, some people died out here. Never mind. They probably did leave some guards, but they're dead now.
They didn't show any bodies, just like some blood spray.
Right. Yeah.
So,
which makes me think they got dragged into the tomb.
Possibly, but you really only see like 2 bodies in the tomb.
Yeah, we don't explore the whole thing.
Right, but the guy was clearly going back to one place to like chop people up. Why would they?
Right.
Why would he drag them somewhere else?
Maybe if you go into the tomb and turn left, there's a huge body storage room.
It's a big pit full of people.
Layla and Steven went right.
Yeah. Yeah, the pit that Layla was fighting the mummy dude around. Like that was just loaded with corpses. Yeah.
Right. So he just goes over and pulls one up and brings it back into the mummification room and pulls their organs out and puts them in jars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a bit getting ahead of it, but that's what happens. They go inside and then there's some sort of zombie priest walking around making clicking noises and sounding like the clickers in The Last of Us.
Yeah.
And he drags a body of one of God, what's his name?
Harrow.
One of Harrow's people, thank you. And puts it up on this tomb, the stone slab thing, and like cuts him open and rips his something out. I don't know, heart maybe, liver, kidney, sure,
internal organs. Yeah,
yeah. Puts it in a jar.
Canoptic jar. Yep.
Right, and then they're trying to remain hidden from him, but then Steven, I think, makes some noise, or I don't remember.
Layla makes some noise trying to circle around it so he can't see her as easily, and she like knocks over a jar.
Right, so she messes it up.
Yep.
And then he goes chasing her, and there's some like kind of horror elements to it, where she passes this little crevice in the wall, and then these arms come out and grab her and pull her in, and I was like, well, she's dead. But then she wasn't. She was fine. She came right out.
Yep. She just walked on out.
Yep.
With an arm, no less.
Right. Way to go, Layla.
I just tore off this guy's arm. No biggie.
Blah, blah, blah. She wins. Blah, blah, blah. She reunites with Steven. They find the long-lost tomb of Alexander the Great. And inside his throat is the stone statue for Amun. Amet. Amet, thank you. And then Harrow shows up and he tells Layla that Mark killed her dad, and then she gets all emotional about it. And they don't run away when Harrow is on his way to stop them. And so Steven gets shot a couple times and falls into some water and ends up in a mental institution.
That's the gist of it.
That's it. Yep. And then a talking hippo shows up.
Hi. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Yeah.
Okay. So crazy. Like honestly, some crazy stuff there. I don't know that I was super into the first half of the episode. Like nothing
No,
about it felt really intriguing. I don't know.
no. Most of it was like Layla getting to know Steven and then them making out.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And then Mark being like, I'm gonna throw us both off a cliff. And I'm like, dude, calm down, Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think. Like, it didn't particularly grab me. So people who were saying this episode was supposed to be the one that grabs you,
Right.
like right at the end where he wakes up in a mental institution that is vaguely Egyptian themed in every way. Like, there's all the subtle little things that have been about the 3-episode adventure so far is represented there somewhere in that mental institution.
Right.
So you can kind of supposed to get this figure of, oh, it's just all of his psychosis. Like Harrow is this psychiatrist doctor, and so he's like invented him into be a villain because he's the one that keeps drugging him. All the other patients are just people in the show as well. And then they immediately undo any kind of intrigue that could present by having a talking hippo. So
Right.
yeah.
So I don't know. The big question is, I don't think they would do a show where everything they gave us in the first 3 episodes was a hallucination of a crazy person.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You think they would do that?
I haven't seen WandaVision. What was up with all the crazy TV show stuff?
So that was an actual town that she had taken over and created forced shared illusions.
Okay, but
So all the people were real, but she was making them perform in the way she wanted them to.
right, but all the people are real. Steven just perceives them as doing something that then he's still just assuming that he's pretending they perform the way he wants them to, or he thinks they have. So it's basically the same thing.
No, it's actually happening in WandaVision. It's physically the people are there doing the things. And if it's all in Steven's head or Mark's head, then it's all in his head. It's not happening. All the stuff we saw about the car chase on the mountaintop and the fight with the jackal, all of that is fake. Nothing of that actually happened in the real world.
Something of that nature could have happened. They could have been a prisoner broke loose and they were getting muffins that day, and then it was like Steven was pushing a cart down one hallway and people were coming up the other way and they were like shooting tranks at him. You could do it. It's just it's his interpretation of events.
Yeah, but that would piss me off. Like, don't give me 3 episodes of something that's happening, then go, nope, absolutely not. What was actually happening was this guy never left the mental facility in the 3 episodes that we showed you. And what was an exciting car chase down a mountain was actually Steven getting loose, right? And running down a hallway. Like, that's not what happened.
Okay.
Anyway, I think we've talked about this before. It doesn't bother you as much. It always bothers me.
Well,
so I don't think they would do that.
It wouldn't bother me if they could nail the landing in some way.
Okay.
Because if you can make it interesting in some way, then it's fine. But obviously, we don't know if they do that, and they immediately said, no, that's not what's happening anyway. So it doesn't matter. The point of the moot.
I don't know. I mean, there's a couple options here. There's like 3 or 4. Another one is that he's dead, that he did get killed by Harrow and sent to some kind of like Egyptian afterlife, like a purgatory where he's being tested and weighed. Like that's how Egyptian afterlife works, and they've really spent a lot of time on that in the show.
Sure, yeah.
And I'd be okay with that, except that if I was Harrow, I'd be so pissed off if I shot this guy in the chest 2 times and killed him, and then he comes back. Because that's what the show is. There's no way they killed Moon Knight in episode 4 of Moon Knight and he's dead forever.
I mean, Moon Knight is a title. It's not a person. So, Layla's still alive. She could become the Moon Knight for the rest of the MCU.
All right. I think that's ballsy to kill Oscar Isaac in episode 4 of your show.
Well, it didn't. It's clearly not dead. Stuff is clearly still happening, but it can't be. He can't just be in an actual mental institution because Steven is also there as a different body, right?
In a sarcophagus in one of the rooms, which is not mental institution safe, right?
No,
Good point.
No. Right. Like he's clearly extraplanarly somewhere, you know.
Right. Okay. So whether it's the afterlife or something else, I guess we'll find out in the next episode.
It's a magic pocket dimension. That's all.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yep. It's not the afterlife. Okay. It's just pocket dimension. Some god casts some magic. Probably the music god that was into Khonshu for a bit. Saved his avatar, believed him, trying to get him back on their feet so they can stop the big bad.
Right. Of course.
Yeah, that's probably what's happening.
All right, so I guess we'll see.
Yep. I mean, I also watched Halo today, which has soured my mood some.
I do want one last thing about Moon Knight. I just want to say the conversation when Khonshu intentionally got himself changed into a little stone statue.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Tell Mark to rescue me."
Mm-hmm.
And the more I think about that, I'm like, how is he supposed to do that? He's a regular dude. Literal Egyptian gods have you hold up in a pyramid that I assume they're guarding pretty heavily. How are you supposed to... it bothers me that Khonshu is like, save me without any of the powers that I've granted you because they're gone now. Please do that. Thanks. Bye. It's like, yeah.
Well, okay, so the gods aren't actively doing anything in the world. Like, that's their MO at the moment.
So you think you can walk into the pyramid, pull a statue off the wall that they've imprisoned intentionally and wander off with it?
Well, no, because obviously it needs to be hidden. You can't just walk into anything anywhere. But I think once you get there, probably, the gods only care about making sure that their existence is kept secret. They convened because Khonshu did stuff with the stars. And all of the avatars are off watching and observing from wherever they are. They all bug it off. I mean, the more interesting thing is that wall with all the statues. They have dozens of, or maybe like a dozen.
I was gonna say. I feel like.
I mean, they didn't zoom out all the way. There could be hundreds.
That's true.
They have tons of gods locked up in stone statues.
Right.
Yeah. So that's more interesting to me. It's like, oh, these people do this often then.
Well, I think I listened to a podcast that talked about this, and they mentioned they've decided to pull themselves away from interacting with humanity, but there was disagreement about it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there was a civil war among the gods, and the people that lost the war got entombed in these things, and that's the losing side there.
Sure, that's a possibility. Maybe. I mean, I'm just there seems to be a lot more on the losing side than there are on the winning side, which the power balance seems interesting.
Sure, numbers aren't everything, but yeah.
Sure, right. But I mean, we've already seen what Khonshu, a lesser god, can literally roll back the sky. I feel like even lesser ones.
Gods were like, no, they instantly had him captured and turned into a statue.
Sure,
they didn't have to hunt him down. He couldn't fight back.
Right,
done.
But when there's like 5 or 6 of you, surely it's harder. Like you can't always be easy.
They did it one at a time.
What?
Maybe they sat in their pyramid and one at a time yanked in the other gods, entombed them, and put them in the wall, and then started again.
And the rest didn't go, well, something's up. We're slowly losing our numbers. Should we go and investigate? No, let's just see how this plays out. And they all end up as stone statues. They couldn't perform a counter ritual and try and start sucking in the other ones.
Maybe they're all loners like Khonshu, who just runs around doing whatever they want and never talking to the other gods. Didn't find out what was happening until it was too late, till they came for you. I don't know, man.
That sounds stupid.
I don't think they'll ever answer that question, but
yeah, probably not.
Yeah. All right. Sorry for the detour. Let's get sad. Let's go Halo.
It's really stupid. It's so stupid.
Okay. On the stupid meter, is it more stupid now than it was last week?
It's
Sounds like it's about the same.
It's more stupid, but less boring.
Oh, okay.
So the last episode was all about like a Spartan discovering herself and being like, I'm a human being now. I'm a real girl. I'm gonna put gun grease in my hair and dye it red.
That's how that works.
Yeah, that's how that works. And she becoming like BFFs with Halsey's daughter, Miranda Keys. This one is like there's an actual fight that breaks out. Like the Covenant start deploying onto a planet because they know an artifact's there for reasons. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. We see the UNSC and a squad of Spartans fight some Covenant. The Jackals have energy swords because they have shields, so you give them shields and swords, not guns. There's a total of 1 elite. There's a grunt that hijacks a warthog while it's in motion.
Wow, impressive.
Yeah, and he drives, and the chief is like, let me drive, and then shoots him. And like Cortana's there, like helping the chief, being like, there's 2 more coming up from your left, and she's like, switch to your secondary. And he says this quite seriously, I know how the game is played. What?
You haven't even. You just started. I'm already sad.
There's a single brute that comes down with like a grav hammer. You don't get a look at the grav hammer, but he also deploys from a spirit, which is the U-shaped ones from Halo 1.
Yeah.
And I can't think of any specific books or references to confirm this, but I always thought that spirits got replaced by phantoms in Halo 2 and 3 because brutes were so big they didn't fit in them. That's kind of my headcanon for why spirits got replaced in Halo 2 and 3. It's because they introduced brutes, and brutes are much bigger.
Yes. They just don't fit in the cockpit. I get it.
Well, no, not in the cockpit, because they have those 2 U-bays that open up, and people jump out from the side. He jumped out of one of those.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just annoying that the Master Chief, he sees the brute jump out, and he's got a gravity hammer, and in the nick of time deploys a jackal shield. I don't know where he got it from, but he did. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Found it. Yeah. Found it on the ground.
The chief manages to jump onto a Banshee, and instead of hijacking it, he tries to shoot through the top of the cockpit, which doesn't work. He then just pulls it down into like he just like gets on the underside and weighs it down and pulls it to the left so it hits into a phantom. He's fine, barely inconvenienced.
Okay.
Yeah.
How heavy is this? I mean, the suit's heavy, but like,
I mean, you can fly in one, so it can't be so heavy that it can't take the weight.
Right.
Oh,
caramba. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Bad.
The B story is significantly shorter. Basically, an old Spartan ties the girl we don't care about to a bike and leaves her in the desert while he goes to find new wheels because the bike ran out of fuel or something.
I thought she was like the chosen one.
No.
Oh.
She's just like the kid who wants to inspire all the revolution on Madrigal because her father died and that's what he was into. And she's like, I gotta do his will. Except they get there and like nobody wants to fight because obviously that's stupid.
Yes. Obviously stupid.
Yeah. Because no one's going to follow a 15-year-old girl into battle against the UNSC.
I mean, Joan of Arc existed.
Okay, sure.
Like
how'd she work
one
out?
example. She won. And
did she? I thought she died.
Totally didn't die. Nope.
Okay.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, she breaks off a piece of the motorbike by hitting it with a rock and then escapes and knocks out the old Spartan. Barely an inconvenience. Where she got the taser from, I don't know.
Found it.
Yeah, in the desert. She found it in the desert, looking for mystics, like she's in Dune or something. The Master Chief, seeing the other Spartan lady with the red hair, is like, "Oh, you took out your emotion suppressing pellet, didn't you?" She's like, "Yeah, I did. Like you. After I saw you do it, so I figured it's a good idea." And she starts having emotions, and the Chief's like, "I can't clear you for combat." And she's like, "What about you?" And he just looks at her, and she's like, "Fine, I'll go wait in the ship." Well,
he wasn't like, "I'm a man. I don't have emotions."
No, but he's, I don't know. Half of it is she proves him right. It's like, I can't clear you for combat because you can't focus. You're distracted. I want you to go wait on the ship. Don't step off until we get back to Reach. And she's like, "Well, what about you? Blah, blah, blah." And it's like, well, you're kind of proving this point. You're distracted. You're trying to like claim that you're now awake, but you are standing around talking to people about feelings and asking them questions about like, don't you ever wonder why they're trying to kill us? And the other Spartan's like, no. Like, don't you ever wonder why? You don't wonder why? He's like, the fuck are you asking me, girl? Like, she's clearly distracted. He is right, technically, but for the wrong reasons. Well, hypocritical reasons, I should say.
Right.
It's a mess. Captain Keyes is back in it, and he's like, "Yeah, I brought you down here, Miranda, my daughter, to show your mother up. We all want to see what you can do with this artifact and like show her what's what." And then like 10 minutes later, he's like, "Yeah, I want her redeployed. The Master Chief might be remembering her his memories, and her hands are clean, so I want her out of it." And then he's like, "I'm ordering you to get off the planet." Like, in the show's context, it's in the space of about 20 minutes.
Wow. So much progression, so fast.
Yeah, so zippy.
Such speed.
Yeah. It's brutal and
it is
not good.
No. So on Facebook, I saw an ad for the show, and I was like, I wonder if the comments are positive or negative. So I looked, and all of them were like, "I love this show. It's great." And I was like, "So you've never played the games? That's fine. Like, they're targeting you. You are the audience for this show.
You've never played the games, and you like bad writing."
Yes.
Okay.
That's what you're into, is bad writing as a hobby, right?
Yeah. God, there's so much that's just so silly as well. It's like in the space of 20 years, Eridanus went from like a dense forested planet, and they find, okay, so when they go back to this planet where the Chief is from, the Chief finds this other artifact in like some dead rocks, like in a cave, and it's surrounded by like rocks, right? Like it's all dead area. It's like a deserty area, and except they're in like this big metal, not a dome. It's like a flat disc. Like imagine a football stadium, but flat, and it just spreads out and around, and like, or Midgar's plate. You know Midgar from Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah.
Yeah, picture the plate, but on the ground with like some a little bit sunken into it.
Yeah. Okay.
And that turns out that was like a school area where they taught agricultural sciences basically to 6-year-olds, apparently, having them like plant flowers or some shit. It doesn't make any goddamn sense, don't worry. But the Master Chief like when he's a child, finds this relic hidden in a cave there as well, and that's why he's drawing all of it when he's young. And then they go there and when he's an adult, and it's been about 20-30 years tops, and it's all dead rock. There's no grass or anything. Like there was an agricultural school here, and it's now all dead. Like, why did they pick that site for agricultural studies? And then 20 years later, with no human activities, it resembles a strip mine.
Oh,
yeah.
Goodness.
Because the UNSC turn up because there's an artifact that they found, and they have to set up a little base for some reason. I don't know why. But they're like, yeah, it won't take any long to cut this out. Good thing we've set up a little tent city. Man.
That was my first thought as well.
It's not good. I don't like it. Why am I still watching it?
I don't know. I ask that question every week.
I need to know how it is. I forgot the actual dumbest part. Okay.
No, it can't get worse. Why can't it get worse?
It can't get worse. It can't get worse. Okay. So the Atriox, or whoever this brute is with the gravity hammer, sweeps down, steals the artifact, right? Takes off in his spirit.
Yes.
Which I think it used like a gravity beam to like pull him up into the cockpit.
Beam.
It could have been a tractor beam to the cruiser, but like if you have that, why did you deploy away spirit? Anyway, anyway, after the fight, you know, they're all looking around. The smoke's clear. Most of the Spartans run over to see if this other one who was getting her shit kicked in, because she's emotionally distracted. Like she literally has like a panic attack, looking at all the people dying, and basically curls up into a fetal ball and lets the Covenant shoot her. Anyway, the chief sees one more drop pod get shot out from the cruiser, and it's the human girl who's working for the Covenant. Like we have the artifact, so we're gonna send you the lady anyway. Like I don't know why. That's where the episode ends, but it makes no goddamn sense. It's like we have everything we want. You can have the person that activates it.
Neat.
It's not good.
Nope. Why is it so aggressive?
Why is it so aggressively bad?
Yeah, like there's bad.
Mm-hmm.
There's aggressively bad. I don't know, man.
Who knows?
I've been watching a couple videos about the recent Doctor Who season on YouTube.
Okay.
Similar feelings. I'm just like, why is it so aggressively bad?
I honestly didn't even know that there was a new season airing of Doctor Who because the last two were kind of awful. Yeah. And then GXE did like that 5-hour
the takedown.
Yeah, about Big Onion. Right. Which is all I remember from those 2 seasons now.
Yeah, fair. It's the only thing worth remembering.
And so all I know is that this doctor's leaving now, and they'll get another doctor, and it might be Hugh Grant.
Oh, I haven't heard that rumor. That'd be...
I think he shut it down is the problem.
Okay, I don't think I like it. I don't want Hugh Grant. I don't know. Like, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like Jodie What's-Her-Face. I think she's a good actor. I just don't think she was given good writing at all.
No.
And she's not good enough to elevate it to a good level like maybe someone else would have been.
Sure.
So it's not really her fault that she's not incredible. She's good enough. I think if with good enough writing and something taking advantage of her skills, I think she would have been just fine. But unfortunately, she got slammed with some terrible writing and just couldn't overcome it. So I don't know. So who do I want to be the next Doctor? I don't know that I even care at this point. It's rough.
No, I mean, I certainly don't care, which is why I'm going to say Daniel Craig. He's finished with one British institution and can move straight to another.
You know, it makes some logical sense when you put it that way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or I want Vin Diesel.
Ooh.
Vin Diesel or Nick Cage.
Oh. Just for the aggressive badness that would bring to the whole thing. That would put it to another level.
Because then you could at least meme it, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yes. Okay, I support this.
Cool. Good.
Man, so there's the latest episode was like an Easter special, right? And it's bad in a way that it's so confusing that trying to explain exactly what happens in the episode is difficult.
Okay. What happens in the episode?
So, long story short, there are these sea devil creatures that are on Earth that predate humanity.
Okay.
But they've been hidden for a long time, and then they wake up and they're pissed that humans are here and they want to kill all of them. And then there's a magic stone and shenanigans happen, and the leader of the sea devils gets turned into stone. buy the magic stone. Yes,
What?
and they win.
Wait.
That's pretty much it.
Okay. So hold on. Things that now predate humanity on Earth are like a giant spider that came to Earth when it was a bunch of asteroid rocks and like was the most densest star. Like its spaceship was the most dense thing, and so it pulled in all the other rocks and that formed the Earth. You then had the lizard people who went into stasis because the moon was coming into orbit and they thought it was an asteroid going to kill everyone. So they retreated underground. The moon turned out to be a giant spider egg or something. So there's that.
Yep. So I mean, yes.
Okay, and now we have fish people?
No, they're people. They're called sea devils because they are like pirates. They have ships and they roam about the seas.
So they're just humans?
Kind of?
I need to look this up.
I know. I mean, no, they're fish people. They're bipedal, but they have kind of fishy looking faces. You know, it's classic human, but not really, right?
Right. It's a bipedal human-esque thing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the Star Trek version of Alien, where you just do human and then put makeup on them.
Right.
Yeah. So, and Yaz, who's the British like cop that leaves her job to...
Yep.
She like is in love with the doctor, I think.
Okay.
But it's not developed at all over the course of the season. It kind of comes out of nowhere in this episode.
Right.
And then the doctor says, basically, I'm honored, but I'm not into romance. But if I was, you'd be my first pick.
I mean,
what does that mean? Like,
okay. So, I mean, one, we know the doctor does do romance. She might not at this time for whatever personal reasons or whatever. But I feel like this doctor's been like, I don't know, because the doctor has like moody spans where it's like, I don't do companions for like 600 years in his time.
Yes.
Well, it's time, their time. And so like she might totally be back into people and is just like, that's how she's saying like, oh, I don't swing that way, but if I did, you'd be my first pick. Like that's a compliment.
Like, it is a compliment, but I don't know. I just don't get it.
Okay. No guys ever told you that like, look, I don't swing that way, but if I did, you'd be my first pick.
No, that's never happened.
Well, Falcon, let me just let you know. You'd be my third pick.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel bad. I would feel bad for Yaz if this had been at all established over the previous episodes instead of kind of being thrown at the audience on the last episode of the season.
The previous seasons.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, words are hard today. Like, I don't think they set Yaz up romantically in any way over the, like, even what I can mostly remember, which is her first season. I can remember that one the most.
Right, but that's the thing. She has like 3 companions or 4 she's running around with. And none of them are real characters. It's old white dude.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about him at all. There's the black kid who can't ride a bike, and that's all I know about him.
Yeah.
There's Yaz, the former cop, who leaves being a cop and completely loses any personality she had as a cop. So that's 3.
I mean, she didn't have any personality as a cop anyway. Because she gets like half an episode, well, not even half an episode, half a scene to develop being a cop, right? Her intro scene is she's sorting out like a domestic fight or something between someone who like bumped into their car or like broke a window or something. Like that's it. That's her entire police work, and then a meteor falls out of the sky, lands on the train, it starts killing people, and she agrees when the doctor says, don't call it in. Like,
right.
So she immediately abandons being a cop in the first episode.
Yeah, but I just felt like she had some force of personality, at least for the couple scenes we saw her in a little bit, that just completely disappears
Sure.
when she decides to follow the doctor. Anyway, whatever. Is there a fourth? Why do I feel like there's a fourth one?
I know that who's the guy? Who's the handsome guy? Captain Jack. He
Jack
was
Harkness.
Yeah, Captain Jack was there for like an episode. He mistakes Graham as the doctor and like kisses him. And he's like, "Oh, doctor, I like what you're doing with yourself." And then it's
Right.
like, no, she's the doctor. I've only seen that clip because I've not seen the episode.
Apparently, there's a Dan Lewis
Okay.
who's also one of the companions. I don't know who that is. Maybe it's like a new season
Maybe.
person. Temporary, probably. I don't know. Graham, Ryan, Yaz, Jack Harkness, Dan Lewis. That's what the Wikipedia says.
Played by John Bishop. Sure.
Hmm.
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So I guess there's 4, but I mean, counting Jack, 5, depending on if you want to count temporary ones or whatever. But
Probably not.
yeah, a little crowded, I guess, is what I'm thinking. But it doesn't really matter, I suppose.
No.
So anyway, I feel bad for the people on the show. I feel like the writing's been horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
And they're bringing back Russell T Davies, apparently.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I liked his stuff all that much from the 2005 renewal, but
No?
no, I don't know. Some
I'd
of
have
it
to-
was good.
I'd have to remember which episodes were Russell T Davies.
Well, I think he was the showrunner for the 05 revival.
Sure, but I'm more interested in the episodes he specifically worked on, really.
Oh, okay.
Showrunners have a lot of important sway, it's true, but I feel like I'm much more interested in looking at what they did specifically hands-on as a writer or a director.
Yeah, because I remember in watching it, there were certain episodes that were definitely written by Davies and other ones weren't. So yeah, good call. So which episodes are his?
I have a list.
Oh, good. Let's go. Let's see if you can recognize them by the name of the episode.
Oh, I can remember a bunch of these. Army of Ghosts, I remember, and Bad Wolf.
Ooh,
Boomtown,
okay.
I remember. Boomtown's good. I like that. That's the one where they get Chris Eccleston and Rose in like 1938 London, and that's where they meet Captain Jack. And there's like nanoviruses, and the kids were like, "Are you my mummy?"
That's the art. You should have just said that. Start with a gas mask kids scary episode.
I was refreshing my mind to get to like something noticeable. Okay, I started off with the description of the episode and then the meme.
Okay,
fair. I liked Gridlock, which is the one where David Tennant and Rose go to the future and everyone's stuck in a cars in gridlock going round and round because there's a bunch of smoke-eating monsters that have like lived in the sewers or whatever.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, okay.
I enjoyed that. The Runaway Bride, that's good. Planet of the Dead, yeah, Planet of the Dead's good.
Runaway Bride is the first Donna episode, right?
Yeah, it's one where she like teleports onto a TARDIS and she's like in her wedding dress and like,
Yeah.
do I look like I've got pockets? It's good.
So sassy, that Donna.
She's good.
Yeah. And so
Turn
he
Left,
did
Utopia,
the-
Waters of Mars. Yeah, lots of good episodes.
Oh, Waters of Mars was pretty good. Did he do
Mhm.
Blink? I don't think he did Blink.
I don't think he didn't do Blink. No.
He was the executive producer for Blink, but
Yeah. And again, see, he might have been the showrunner or the executive producer, but how much of that his input was on the concept? Because the concept's really the killer in Blink. It's executed
is, and
well, but
it's a Moffat
Yeah.
episode. He wrote that one. Yeah. Okay, so some good stuff here.
Yeah.
And it's been almost 20 years now, so
Right. He did do
who
some
knows?
bad episodes, like Love and Monsters, which is an episode told about a like fan club of the Doctor trying to track him down, and one of them ends up as like a living statue in a single pavement in a relationship with a human man, and so they're like, "Well, we do have our physical relationship," and she's like, "You're gonna make me blush," except she's literally made of stone and is like an inch thick. It's like gross.
And what?
Yeah.
Blah. He restored Ursula partially. She now exists as a face in one of the paving stones.
Mm-hmm.
The pair found some happiness.
Yep.
Oh, neat. Way to go, guys. All right.
Yeah.
That's not great. Last of the Time Lords. What's that one? That one feels like a master episode.
I believe it is.
Oh, it's the last episode with Martha. I like most of the Martha stuff. She's great.
Martha's good, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the one where they cannibalize the TARDIS so they can create paradoxes because the Toclafane come back in time, but the Toclafane are actually humans from like the end of the universe, and they start killing humans. And so,
right.
Yep. Good episode. I enjoyed it. It's got Captain Jack, and it's David Tennant. What a pain.
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty unstoppable duo right there. That's really good. And with Martha tagging along too. Like,
oh,
that's
yeah,
just,
for sure. Yeah.
Bam. It's real good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we'll see what we get.
Yeah. Could go either way.
Uh-huh. I mean, at least he's got a resume. Like, that was kind of the problem with Chibnall, was he didn't have a resume before they hired him. I'd like to know what happened. What happened with the higher-ups of the BBC, where they're like, we're going to hire this person as a showrunner for Doctor Who. It's like, what has he done before?
Well, he's a big fan, and that means he'll be better than anyone who's actually qualified.
Yeah, that was the problem.
Mm-hmm. What he wrote for? He's got credit on Life on Mars. He did a bunch of Torchwood in 2008, 2006,
That's pretty
2008. Chibnall did write episodes of Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Like in 2007 and onwards. Some not good episodes. Yeah, no. That's okay. That's yep. He did Law and Order. Oh, he created Broadchurch. There you go.
Oh, really? Did
Yeah.
he write for Broadchurch? Because I really like Broadchurch season 1. Like, a lot.
Who wrote? Written by Chris Chibnall.
The whole thing? I need to recalibrate here. Hold on a second.
Yes, he wrote every episode except for episode 6, where Louise Fox and Chris Chibnall are co-credited as writers.
Holy crap!
So he's clearly capable of something.
Yeah, no kidding. Mind is blown. Why? He can write character. What happened? Okay, this is seriously the most mind-blowing thing I've learned in a long time.
Secondly, mind-blowing to me is that Broadchurch got 3 seasons.
Yeah. Season 1's great, and then it kind of falls off a cliff. And Chris writes all of it. So...
It's true.
So maybe he used up all of his incredible creative energy for season 1 and then just didn't have anything left for the rest of his life.
Right.
That's really sad.
God, I want to go watch Broadchurch now.
Season 1's great.
So good.
What happened? I don't remember season 3 yet. Oh.
I never watched it, so I couldn't tell you.
Did it? Oh, there's a 2-year break between each season, so it's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Blah 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 blah. Huh. Got good ratings.
Cool.
Whatever. Chris, I've learned something about you that I should have known.
Perhaps we judged you too harshly.
Perhaps we did. Oh, man. All right. Well, what else were you going on today?
GSL happened.
That is true. We got our weekly GSL event.
Which is the round of 6, so technically playoffs are starting now.
We did it. We got through both rounds of the groups.
Yep.
Hooray.
Is anything unexpected here? I mean, really?
Let's see. Trap Rogue Ragnarok. Yeah, I mean, Beyond Ragnarok was kind of a toss-up, right?
No, that already happened.
No, I know.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Group A. Like, just who got out of Group A?
Okay. I think we went over this last time, and like round of 6 is what we're talking about. Okay, sure.
Oh, right. No, you're good.
You want to cover Group A again? That's fine. We can do that.
I do not. You're right. Okay, so Ragnarok beat Dongregyu, which is whatever. Fine.
Sure.
Yeah. Rogue 3 winning Creator.
Yeah, I think that's expected. Yeah.
Creator 3 winning Ragnarok. Yeah, fine. Agreed.
So Rogue and Creator get out, and we get our playoffs. Semifinals. Trap, Creator, Dark, Rogue. In that order.
That's pretty awesome. Good lineup.
Yep. 2 mirrors, and then a guaranteed non-mirror for the finals. I think everyone wins.
Guaranteed non-mirror for the finals is tight. It's everyone's favorite thing.
Yeah.
Even if you have to deal with a PvP and a ZVZ series to get there.
I will eagerly watch both.
Yeah, Dark Rogue's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
I can't wait for them both to like 12 pull each other and pull the boys, get a draw, and then immediately do it again.
Right. Just go right back to that well for game 2. ZVZ is so dumb.
Good times.
The best. Yeah, so ZVP finals is fine.
Mm-hmm. It'll have to be.
Yeah, no getting around it.
Yeah. You would think qualifiers for next season would start soon, but there isn't even a page for it on Wikipedia, which sucks.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It do be suck.
It do be suck.
I guess one thing I kind of wanted to talk about was Elon Musk buying Twitter for $44 billion.
Sure, yeah.
So one interesting thing that I learned was when that happens, when a private individual buys a public company, all of the shares that people hold in that company get taken from them and they're reimbursed.
Yeah.
Based on the current stock price. Right. And then you just can't buy the stock anymore. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all. That's crazy. I just can't imagine being like, I'm gonna buy into this company. I really believe in it. This is gonna be a long-term hold. And then some dude just completely shuts that whole thing down. It's like, no, you're not. Sorry.
Well, yeah, but I mean, yeah, you probably get the very least get your money back. I can't imagine.
What if the price is down? What if they force you to sell at loss? Let's look at Twitter's stock price real quick. There's no way it's at its all-time high.
Well, there's no way it's at its all-time low.
So what if you bought it at $77 a share back in February of last year?
I don't know. What is it now?
As of today, it's at $49 a share.
Wow. Okay, so you made a loss.
Yeah. So they basically force you to sell at a loss.
I mean,
sucks.
That assumes that the reimbursement you get is at cost. We don't like it.
Yeah, no, it is at the date. I've read it. It's at the exact point the stock price is at.
That's when you get reimbursed for.
Yep. Yeah, it sucks. I feel bad for all those people. I don't have any Twitter stock unless it's part of my like 401k. Maybe it is, but it's like one among 8,000 different ones, so it doesn't matter as much. Like, there's no way I have like even $1,000 or $500 in Twitter, if any at all. So I'm not worried about it. But yeah, anybody who like specifically put money into Twitter and was like, let's ride this, Twitter's the future, and it's like, nope, you're out. Bummer.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, wasn't it like 6 months ago, a year, that Elon Musk was like, look, UN, just give me a $6 billion plan for ending world hunger and I'll do it. And then,
well, it was, somebody said that world hunger could be ended with $6 billion.
Right.
And then they're like, why doesn't Elon Musk do it? And he's like, okay, send me a plan. So yeah, that's basically what happened. But
from what I understand is they sent him a plan. And then he just
did they do that?
I think so. Yeah, I saw someone talk about it on. My source is, dude, trust me, bro. I read it on Reddit. Like, but,
okay. So, okay, who was the organization that tweeted at him? Elon Musk. I need this whole story real quick because I'd never heard of the organization before. So Fortune magazine says that Elon Musk gave a mysterious $5.7 billion donation weeks after he dared the UN to show him its plan for solving world hunger.
Okay.
So he donated it to charity weeks after tweeting that if the UN World Food Program showed him how $6 billion would solve world hunger, he would sell all his Tesla stock right now and do it. Elon.
But okay, so did he donate it to charity, or did he donate it to ending world hunger charities?
Correct. It was a massive donation to an undisclosed charity.
Okay, so he donates $6 billion. He donates $6 million for a tax write-off.
Somewhere, yeah.
Somewhere.
I think it'd be a tax write-off if it went to the UN World Food Organization too.
Possibly, but it could be a charity he is himself deeply in control of, or someone he knows is. Someone who can benefit him in some way.
For sure.
Rich people don't usually just give away money, in my experience.
Yeah.
If Elon Musk happens to read this, FalconPaladinHour.com is available for purchase. We have users.
Buy us for $44 billion.
No. We're not worth quite that much. I'll settle for like 5 or 6.
$5 billion, please.
$5 billion. We'll split it between all the shareholders. You can buy back all the stock. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that's the story.
So,
anyway.
I mean, do you see any changes happening with Twitter?
Because I don't know.
The what I've seen about this is Elon Musk wants the ability to say anything he wants on Twitter, essentially, and like he's mainly doing that so people will stop saying things are disinformation when they're clearly are.
Like what?
I don't know. He's not tweeting anything because he only just owned it.
Oh,
that's again. My sources are "Dude, trust me, bro." I read it on Reddit.
Yeah, I mean, so just in a vacuum, the concept of determining what is misinformation and what is truth is not as easy and simple as a lot of people think it is, right?
Probably not.
So what I've seen a lot of people is say, Twitter's done a great job censoring all the untruth and a lot of the misleading information that's out there.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone say that, but as an example, we'll continue.
Oh, okay. I've seen some people make that argument that it's better than it was 5 years ago.
Oh, I can maybe agree with that. I mean, doing a good job and being better are two different things.
Interesting.
It's a matter of perspective.
Okay.
Again, I am deeply of the opinion that these services are what you make of them.
Yeah.
Like the only places I ever see disinformation, and the reason why it seems so clearly wrong to me is because I see it on bad medical takes. And it's basically people being like, no, tumors in the prostate are to make you more manly. But, no. they kill people. So to me, my experience of it is, well, this is what people want to stop trying to regulate against. I don't know. It all seems very, very silly to me.
Right. See, that's the thing. Most people, when they hear we're going to get rid of misinformation, they think, oh, okay, so the stupid flat earthers or the people that talk about how tumors are actually good. All that stuff's going to be removed from Twitter, and that's easy, right?
Right.
But I don't know. It starts getting into areas that are a little iffier at some point.
Like what?
Well,
let's get into it. Let's crank out this problem right now.
No, I know. It's just like the left has the same problem with censorship. Like the communism, our communism subreddit on Reddit,
right,
got banned because they were actively cheering for Russia in the Russia-Ukrainian war. Right. So is that misinformation? Is that spreading lies, or is that rooting for the wrong side? You know what I mean?
Okay. So there are two things to take care to look at it, in my opinion. Which is, if you want to root for Russia, you can.
I don't think you can do it on Reddit.
Right, because Reddit is not it's like you don't have freedom of speech on Reddit. It's a private or public company. They can ban you for whatever they want.
Same with Twitter, right? Same thing.
I'm totally fine with that. Like, I don't give a shit. They don't want people talking about whatever on their site. That's fine. I don't care.
Okay.
But if you're on there saying something that you can't prove, usually in like a screenshot or a infograph or something that says something that basically has the credibility of "do trust me," you're reading it on Reddit. Trust me. I feel like you have less of a leg to stand on if that's what you're complaining about being kicked to the curb. Like,
yeah, sure.
Um,
So basically, you're saying if you come to make an argument on a social media platform, you better have the receipts.
yeah.
And if you don't, you might get banned.
I mean,
This is Somicron's version of Twitter, everybody.
I mean, again, it is what you make it. I would never go and do that because it's not how I would use it. So agreeing to it is like, sure, it doesn't affect me in any way. Like that'll never be my position.
Right. No, I get that. I get you're coming from a completely in a vacuum perspective here, where it doesn't personally affect you at all.
Right. Like, oh god, if I used Reddit like I used Discord, I would have gotten rid of it ages ago. Like, by Discord, I mean specifically yours, which
posting Warhammer stuff.
No, everyone else who posts is what I mean. Like, I'm posting.
Okay.
Believe it or not, I go to Reddit and I look at Warhammer stuff there too.
Right.
So
right. Social media for you is Warhammer. I get it.
I don't use Warhammer much on Twitter. Shut up. I feel called out now. But like, what I mean is, let's say bad medical takes, which is a great example of what I like.
Fantastic.
Like, if you're just there to say, like, someone here's a screenshot of someone being like, what part of asymptomatic carriers are you unclear about? And like, if your response is to that there's just no such thing as asymptomatic illnesses, I feel like you're spreading most false information, and that's very easy to find.
Okay.
Like, because asymptomaticism is real. I feel like I'm like, you disagree? You feel like asymptomatic illnesses are not real?
No, they're definitely real.
Okay.
I'm just at its bottom level, I think a private social media platform should be able to do whatever it wants.
Sure.
End of story. So if they want to ban people who use the word flamingo in their tweets, go for it.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to tell you can't, because you can. It's yours, right?
Fun fact: if you comment on any of the podcasts at falconpaladinhour.com and use the word flamingo, you will be banned.
Yes. So watch out for that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm coming from. Like, I'm not going to tell Twitter they're bad for banning anyone, because I don't like, they can do it. It's fine. But from just a philosophical censorship perspective,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just iffy. There are just lines that show up and gray areas that show up. And yeah, it's easy to be like, well, if someone says the sun rises in the west, obviously they're wrong. Right?
Right.
Sure. So absolutely, yeah. But there's other things that are just less, like, for example, the Russia-Ukrainian war. If you want to put forth a perspective that counteracts the normal narrative about it, using stuff that can't easily be disproven or proven because it's relating to a war where information is fuzzy and we're not quite sure what's going on because everything is hearsay and stuff. Is that stuff you want to start cracking down on?
I guess that's my problem with the whole scenario, which is, if there's talk to be had about a place that is fuzzy on information, I just won't talk about it. Like, if people aren't certain that they're right or wrong, and you can't come to the table with your receipts, just don't post it. Right? Like, because if we can't be sure that what you're sharing is valid, where did you get it from in the first place? I feel like it's easier and safer just to rule on the other side of allowing that. And again, if you think they can do what they want because they're a private company, then the point is moot because it doesn't really matter why.
Right.
If I don't want you in my house and I say get out, you get out. Like,
Yep. That's why I started there.
yeah.
Uh-huh. So I don't know. It's more of that's a philosophical discussion for me than like I'm really
Anything
mad about
practical?
anything Twitter does. Like again,
Right.
private institution, way to go. Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know.
Freedom
It's
of
just the
speech.
flip flop is interesting because I feel like the American political left was pretty happy with the state of Twitter on a certain level. Like the Discord is toxic, right? And there's a lot of things they don't like about it, but they do feel like a lot of the alt-right stuff has been taken care of.
Okay.
And they're happy with it.
Sure.
And then now they're all worried that it's going to flip, right? Now the alt-right people will be given a platform and people who have left ideas are going to get banned for those. And
Well,
that's terrible.
I
And it's
mean,
like,
it's the same
okay,
thing,
it's the same thing,
right?
right?
What I would say to them is, do you think the right has been removed from Twitter previously, or the alt right, like the far right, the hard right, or whatever it is we're calling them? Because I always found it interesting that the people who were on the right but more moderately, well, not even moderate right, like just pretty far right, would say, "Look at how I'm being silenced," and they would still be tweeting fine. It's like, okay, we still had a lot of these people because as long as they don't do anything overtly stupid, right? They're still on the platform. They can still use the platform. It's the loudest and obnoxious voices that were being removed, right? The people who are actual troublemakers most of the time, I would say. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, if it flips, only the loudest and obnoxious on the left should be removed. And I think there will still be just as many left as there are right still on the platform in a year's time.
Yeah. We'll see. Again, I'm not going to follow this super closely. I just find
Oh, no.
a lot of the fears about it to be interesting, that it's going to do this ideological flip once Elon takes over.
Right. I'll go back to following the Halo Twitter account, being like, when are we getting co-op? And
oh no, is that happening?
In August.
Okay, so they've said that recently because I saw some tweets where they like discontinued certain things.
Like what?
Or maybe it was shutting down ideas that people wanted them to do they never promised in the first place.
Well, I mean, they said they were never going to do a battle royale, and then now it's like, oh, well, we've got something secret that we're working on, and it's coming out soon, and it's probably a battle royale. Like,
hooray! Everyone's favorite thing.
Some people are of the opinion that if you want to make a multiplayer game, a free-to-play multiplayer game, it has to have a battle royale mode in it.
Oh yes, well of course then, obviously.
Yeah. I don't believe that, but
people will say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear I read somewhere there was like August for co-op.
That sounds about right.
I can't find it now.
Uh-oh.
August. Yep, found it. Never mind.
Oh, okay, good. What's the date on that?
August.
Is it just on the website?
Oh,
or is it a tweet or something? An announcement?
I found news articles talking about it, which is from their roadmap, I imagine, that they pulled them from.
Oh, okay. So, gotcha.
Yeah.
So they're probably still on path for that.
Possibly, yeah. Because they recently were like, hey, here's all the stuff coming out in Season 2. Please buy the Season Pass. Oh, the new, what are they, like, you know how they've all got that new Season Pass thing where it's like a big XP bar, and as you play you get XP, but if you bought the Season Pass you get extra stuff. What's that
sure
called?
Why not?
It's like a battle pass or something. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I don't like the way it handles stuff, anything. It's an inferior system. Get rid of it in games. It's so awful. Because Season 2 is coming out in like now or a week, May 3rd by the looks of it. And it's going to have basically like 3 new maps and 3 new game types.
Oh, okay.
It's
That's cool.
piss all. Like, it's fucking nothing.
Yeah.
So we're all very happy
All right.
about Halo Infinite.
Everyone's incredibly happy. Yes, it's true.
So happy. So happy.
Mm-hmm. All right, good. Well, I think we're going to wrap this thing up. But
yeah, wrap it up. Put a bow on it.
Maybe we'll have a happier pod next week. Who knows?
Maybe we'll have caffeine, and that'll make the difference.
Ooh, yeah, maybe. All right, good stuff. So that is going to be it from us today. This has been Summicron and Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour. You can support the podcast directly at patreon.com/Summicron. Also, falconpaladin.store, rather, is a place you can go to get merch.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pay with your own currency there. So if that's attractive to you, then go ahead and check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so until next time, as always, thanks for listening or watching. We're live at twitch.tv/Summicron on Tuesdays in my hemisphere and Wednesdays in Summicron's hemisphere. So go ahead and subscribe and get notified when we're going live next time. And until next time, as always, stay safe and stay healthy. And above all, take care of yourself.
Bye.
Bye.